All right.
Okay.
All right, everybody. Well, I am so thankful, like I said, to have you all here today. I'm thankful for, I'm thankful for this meeting and for everybody that's scheduled to speak today. And I apologize, I had somebody come in my office real quick. But thank you so much for all being here. The topic today is dealing with children and families who are in need of assistance. And I'm so thankful to have Dr. Ashley Cross, Lauri McKnight, and Jill Krenzer all here today with us to share with us about all the great work that they do within our community and in Jill's case around the world. So thank you so much for being here. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go through the agenda for the opening. We just have a moment of silence in the beginning just to be able to take that time to pray and reflect on our week. Then we will review the agenda, which we're doing now. Newcomer introductions. Anybody who's new to the meeting will have an opportunity to introduce yourself and what organization you're with. We're thankful that you're joining us today. And then we'll get down to business with the Hub 585 and the Hope Center with Dr. Ashley Cross, Children Awaiting Parents with Lauri McKnight, and then Host Orphans Worldwide with Jill Krenzer. And then we'll have a 15-minute Q&A, and we're going to also do some announcements and have an open floor time where you can share anything that you have to share about what's going on at your organization today. So we'll go ahead and have a moment of silence, and then we'll do newcomer introductions. Awesome. Thank you guys so much. All right. So next up is newcomer introductions. If you have never been to a meeting before, if you could go ahead and place your hand up or wave at me, I'll try to see you through the, okay, so I see a couple of people waving. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start with Christina. If you could come on and introduce yourself.
Would that be me? Because I'm also known as Chrissy. I've been.
Okay, yeah, I think it's, I have a couple of screens of people up here real quick, so I'm trying to go through. Yes, go ahead, Chrissy.
Okay. I am Chrissy Paul, and I'm here from Calvary Chapel of Greece. Here, actually, I'm at home now, but our church is on Coon Road in North Greece. And I'm here just to observe and see how I can help, and maybe our ministry can help as well. And I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. Welcome. It's so good to have you here. The next person's hand that I saw that was up was Anne Marie was waving at me.
Hi, I'm Anne Marie Strivings. I also am new. I'm part of the 360 Collaborative, and I work in conjunction with Asbury First. So again, I just want to be a part of this so I can see how I can help support in any way.
Awesome. Welcome, Anne Marie. It's so good to have you here. All right. And now I didn't see anybody else waving at me, but I do have two screens here. So I'm going to go with the people who have their hands raised in the hand raising feature down at the bottom under reactions. There's a way that you can raise your hand. If you could do that. And then if I miss anybody at the end, we'll just ask you to just come off of mute. So for hands up, I see Helen. Hi, Helen. Welcome.
I'll be back. Hi, thanks for having me. I am Helen Dumas, and I am Genesee River Alliance Coordinator at Genesee Land Trust. We also have a youth workforce development program here at Genesee Land Trust, where we're trying to give a work opportunity to some of the youth from the greater Rochester area, in particular, some of the inner city youth from some of the more marginalized communities, to give them an opportunity to get some exposure to the green economy that's coming, and prepare them for the workforce. So I'm happy to be here. I'm not sure how I got connected with this.
Yeah.
I know I've attended a lot of meetings over the last few months, but I'm thankful for the opportunity. Thank you.
Well, we're so thankful to have you here, Helen. It's just a blessing, everything that you're doing in our community, and we look forward to hearing more about it at future meetings. So thank you for being here today. All right, and we have Jordan over at 211.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jordan with 211 Lifeline, a mission program of Goodwill of the Finger Lakes. I got connected by our operations manager, Amanda Kay, had an invitation and was like, I don't do outreach. You go do this. And then our rural outreach coordinator actually got an invite and was like, am I going to this? So I'm here. I do the Monroe County outreach and some system transformation work with systems integration project. Our database is incorporated in my Wayfinder. And anything else that pretty much happens that's not call taking is my department. So I'm here to help in any way that I can, or just keep my ear to the ground about new resources.
Oh, sorry about that. Awesome, Jordan. Thank you so much. We're so happy to have you guys here, and we're excited about all the work that systems integration and 211 and many people in our community are doing together. So thank you so much. And I don't want to butcher your name, sir. So if you could come on and introduce yourself, I'd feel better if you pronounced your own name for me.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Torian Uthman. I'm here with the Urban League of Rochester. I am the Divisional Director for the Youth and Education Program. And Dr. Hawkins sort of sent me an email a little bit earlier saying to get on to the call. So definitely want to see what we could do as Urban League of Rochester to support the initiative going on by this group.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're so thankful to have you guys here. Excellent. Well, I do have a couple of 3 highlighted announcements. I've got Sue Kirby is on the call. We wanted to highlight a couple of announcements just up front before we hop to the down to business section. Before I do that, is there anybody that's new on the call that wasn't able to introduce yourself that still wants to introduce yourself? I'm just looking through real quick to see if I missed anybody.
Hi, I'm Lydia Alston Murphy. I'm with
Hi, Lydia.
Hi, how are you?
Good, I miss you. It's so good to see you on the call.
Good to see you too. So I work for Action for a Better Community, and I'm actually here because I was voluntold by my director, Sean Futch.
I love that voluntold stuff. Well, tell Sean we said hello, and we're glad you're able to join us today, Lydia.
Certainly.
Thanks for being here. All
Thank
right.
you.
Mary Ann, hi, welcome.
Hi. So I'm not new, but it's been a while because of COVID. My meetings always interfered with this one, and I really did not like missing this. So I'm glad to be back. And
Yes, we're glad to have you here.
I am the manager of the Healthy Moms program over at Rochester Regional at St. Mary's campus.
Awesome. Welcome.
Thank you.
We love partnering with Healthy Moms. We do a coat and winter wear drive every year, and we're so thankful for that. And we partner with them regularly for children's clothing. So if you ever need children's clothing for your clients, they are an amazing place to go. So thanks for being here.
Thanks, Leah.
All right. Anybody else that I missed? All right, so I am going to turn it over real quick to Sue Kirby to announce her upcoming event, and I'm going to look and see if I can find it and post it in the chat while she talks about it.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sue Kirby. I'm founder and director of Bright Star Community, and I'm in a very loud restaurant right now, and I apologize. There's a lot of noise in the background. Kind of working from here in between 2 meetings. And we are having a sex trafficking awareness conference. It's going on during the entire month of April, and it will be held during the lunch hour virtually. We have it on our website at brightstarcommunity.org, and I can put that in the chat. I wanted to put the flyer up, but unfortunately I'm on my iPad, so I can't get it to download for some reason. So I had sent it to Leah. I'm hoping she can find it and put it up, but if not, I'll get it out to Leah and she can email it to you. But go to the website, go on to events, and you'll be able to see it. It's free for the general public. We do have CEU credits available for social workers and mental health professionals. So you can get up to 4 credits for $50 or $15 for each credit.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sue. I'm having
Thank
issues
you.
getting it into the chat, but I did send it out through the email.
Oh,
So
great. Thank you.
if
That's
you
right.
are on our email list, you have received the flyer. And there were 2 other, because I'm in record mode, it won't let me navigate very well on my side. There were 2 other announcements that I sent over through your email as well. So if you check your email, you'll be able to see those announcements. So next up, we're just going to get right down to business, and we're going to start off with Dr. Ashley Cross with the Hub 585 and the Hope Center. I'm so thankful to have Ashley here today. She's doing so much amazing work in our community with many, many families and collaborating with many organizations, and I'll let her share everything that she's doing. But I'm so thankful to have you here today, Ashley. Thanks for taking the time out of your schedule to come and share with us all the great things you're doing over there at the Hub 585. So you're able to share your screen. I don't know if you have a PowerPoint, but you should be able to share your screen now, and we'll just turn it over to you. So take it away.
All right, Leah, thank you so much, and good afternoon, everyone. I do have a PowerPoint, so I will go ahead and share my screen, and I have 15 minutes max. So excuse me if I start talking a little fast. So I'm Ashley Cross, the founder and executive director of the Hub 585. And our mission at the Hub is to educate, enrich, and empower youth and families through programs and partnerships that give them hope and help them thrive. Our vision is simple. It's to see a city restored. And we believe that this happens through strengthening families and protecting children. I do want to just take a moment to say that when we talk about giving hope, we're not talking about a feeling. We're not talking about an emotion. We're actually talking about a scientific theory that teaches people to think hopeful. So hope is not a feeling or an emotion, it's actually a cognition. And so many of our programs and partnerships aim to teach children and families how to be hopeful thinkers, and using the scientific method in which we do that. Our target are youth and families that are involved with the Department of Human Services, child welfare system, or experiencing isolation and poverty. Programs and services are really aiming to support everyone involved in the life of a child in foster care. And so many of our programs are working with foster families, they're working with bio families, they're working with the child, and then they're also helping benefit the workers who I think we can all agree have a lot on their plate at any given day. And so we like to support CPS workers as well so that they can do their jobs efficiently and effectively. So in 2019, we started our flagship program, which was called the Care Portal. We're still operating the Care Portal. The Care Portal, the way that it works is a technology that has been made available to about 40 CPS workers so far. And then we have about 15 partner churches that collectively make up a community response team of about 700 individuals. And so if you are part of Restoration Rochester, then you've probably received Care Portal requests throughout the last year and a half, because Restoration Rochester is one of our Care Portal partners. But the way that it works is that there's a family in need who is visited by a child serving professional, which in this case is a CPS worker. That CPS worker then puts the need into the Care Portal. The Care Portal then shares it with our churches and community members, and the community members and churches ensure that the family is helped. Over the past few years, we've really been focusing on Tier 1 requests. Those are providing resources to stabilize the environment of a child and their caregiver. And now you're going to see through the Hope Center and some of our other work, we're really moving into Tier 2, which are those relational needs. That's supporting children and families through time and resources. We always say that children and families do not enter into poverty and stay in poverty just because of a lack of resources. They enter and stay into poverty because of a lack of relationships. And so we like to help provide those safety nets. So since October of 2019, we've served about 824 children. We've had 609 requests by CPS workers. We've had 700 community responders, and we've made an economic impact of about $428,000. And so some of our programs over at the Hub 585 and at our Hope Center is we do empowerment programs such as life skill classes, mentoring and tutoring, as well as field trips. In the beginning of the year, we launched our Voices of Hope Young Authors program, which I'm really proud of. This is turning youth into published authors. So right now we have 15 youth who are embarking on the full authorship process. This picture shows a good amount of them who come every Monday and Wednesday from 4 to 6 to work on their books, in which their books will be published and sold in September. And then we have our Life Launch Mentoring Program, which is piloting in June of 2022. And an intended impact for this is ensuring that all youth ages 13 to 18 in Monroe County foster care have the committed, durable relationships in their lives to ensure their success and well-being as they prepare and move towards independence. And so this is another partnership that we have with CPS, in which they're referring youth ages 13 to 18 to our Life Launch program. The Life Launch program uses a group mentoring approach to working with children in foster care. And so no youth will ever just receive one mentor. They receive a group of mentors. So these are 2 to 4 adults that put the child in the center of that group and work on making sure that that child feels supported as they prepare to age out of foster care. And then we have our parent engagement and education programs. Again, supporting all parents involved. We think that it's very important not just to support the foster families, but also the bio families. And so we have a partnership with SPCC and the Strong Museum of Play for our family visitation room in our program. We support groups and training for, we have support groups and training for foster and newly adopted families. And we have a partnership with Hochstein and East High School to do that. And so that happens every month. And when that happens, Hochstein comes and does, you see Hochstein here actually doing some art classes. They do art, music, and dance with the younger kids. And then East High School comes and does culinary. So you see our teenagers there who are cooking. And then we're working right now with CPS and a few other community partners to develop a support group for bio families. And then we have youth services. So we have a drop-in center for youth in foster care Monday through Fridays. They can drop in the Hope Center anytime during Monday through Friday, use our computers, watch TV, get help with any of the services that they need. So we're here Monday through Friday. We have respite care for teenagers in emergency foster care every Saturday here at the Hope Center from 10 to 2. And so we usually have about 8 youth who are in emergency foster care that come here, and we have community our youth champions who work with them. And then we have the Dr. Sherry Tapp Legacy Fund, and that's supporting all youth aging out of the foster care system. So last year and this year, we've raised enough money to give every youth in foster care aging out a care package, $500, as well as helping make any connections with businesses and organizations that they need. So we can also provide those referrals as needed. And then the Hope Center, which is our physical location. So sometimes people have a hard time deciphering the difference between the Hub 585 and the Hope Center. The Hub 585 is the name of our organization. The Hope Center is a place. It's a place that we oversee as a collaboration of youth and family serving agencies. And so the vision of the Hope Center partnership is embraced by the community. Youth and families are able to hope, heal, and thrive. Our mission is that the Hope Center partners with community agencies to build a greater infrastructure of innovative holistic services for vulnerable youth and families, believing that every person has a voice in the decision that impacts their present and their future. We build a culture of hope. And we build that through our 5 core values, which are dignity, authentic relationships, inspiring vision, collaboration, and innovation. And I think that is actually the end of the presentation. I did want to share that some of our current Hope Center partnerships right now are, like I said earlier, SPCC, Hochstein, East High School. We also have Saving AJ, which is a crisis nursery that's here at the Hope Center Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that's drop-in services for families to come for youth, I think babies all the way from 6 weeks all the way up to, I think, 14 years old. We also have a partnership with Generation Outreach. They're an after-school program. They're here daily from 4 to 6. They do filming, videography, sneaker design, music production for teenagers, and that's happening every day. And then we also have a mental health professional that's on the 3rd floor that takes Medicaid options and is able to be here to see her clients as well as help with any mental health challenges that we face with any of the young people or the families that we work with. So that's all about the Hub 585 and our New Hope Center.
Amazing. Dr. Cross, I just thank you so much for everything that you're doing in our community. I feel like every day I see something new that the Hope Center is doing, and it's so exciting just to see how you guys are serving the most vulnerable people in our community, and just your heart for the people. And I really appreciate you. You're definitely an inspiration in everything that you're doing. So I appreciate you being here. We did have one question in the chat. It just, Marianne was wondering, is the Hope Center just for foster kids?
It is not. So many of our, all of our partnerships focus on youth and families in general. There are programs within the Hub 585 that we specifically focus on children in foster care. And so like our Life Launch program, there are lots of different mentorship programs. I don't like reinventing the wheel. So for our Life Launch program, we are specifically focusing on children in foster care because we know that they have a specific set of needs. And then the care portal right now, because we have to make sure that we don't overwhelm the system and the churches that we have, we are focusing the care portal specifically on children and families that are impacted by child welfare. But outside of that, Voices of Hope, our after school program, all of those are for community youth and or children in foster care. I just try to make sure that children in foster care have the same opportunity as their peers. And so I'm constantly advocating to make sure that they have access to after school programs, to extracurricular activities, to mentorship programs as their peers.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And then Roseanne was just wondering if you would be able to make your slides available to the collaborative group.
I can do that. Absolutely. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, if you email them to me, I'll email them out to the group.
Okay. And I will put my website in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we will have a Q&A section at the end of everybody speaking where you're welcome to ask any additional questions that you have. I see Carrie has a question about Care Portal, but I also know that Lauri McKnight is coming to us from a beautiful, wonderful space in Florida. And I'm so thankful that she took the time to be here today because of our focus today. I know she's got to jump off pretty soon. So I want to go over to Lauri McKnight and hear about children awaiting parents and what's going on in her world. And I hope you're enjoying the sun there, Lauri. Thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I am enjoying it very much and not looking forward to coming back actually. So, but I'm all set. If you can let me. Okay.
Yeah, you're welcome to share your slides if you're able, and then if you're not, I can share them from here.
Okay, let's try this. I'm never very good at this. I don't profess to be. Organization, and I'm not sure what's going on that we can. I'm hearing that recording thing.
I don't know what happened. It cut out. So
I'm just going to kind of get brief through each slide and let you know a little bit about who Children Awaiting Parents is. This is sort of an overview of our organization, more than program specific. But as I said, we're a 50-year-old organization that began back in 1972, and our mission really has been dedicated to finding adoptive families for America's waiting children. However, we have expanded greatly. We are no longer just an adoption agency. We have a philosophy that every child is adoptable and deserves a loving forever family. And how we got started was that there was a group of adoptive parents who felt that children were not being made visible, and they used the word languishing in foster care far too long. So they formed this groundbreaking effort to encourage adoption for those older and unfortunately what we call harder to place children. And started this organization 50 years ago. And so let's see, sorry about that. I'm going to move on a little bit. I don't want to bore you with the history. And I am sorry, I'm having a hard time. I may be getting some feedback or some unstable internet. So let me know if there's a problem. So we moved along for many years by just being an advocacy organization for youth who needed to be adopted. And we have always had a target population of older youth and those that remained in foster care far too long. But over the years of advocating and connecting families to those children, we began to realize that there was so much more we could do. And in 2017, CAP became a licensed adoption agency with the support of the Honorable Judge Donald J. Corbett. His family was very instrumental in helping us to open this organization, and therefore we named the program after him. I've been with the agency for just about 3 years, and during my time in the organization, we have opened a therapeutic foster care program licensed in New York State. We've developed a program called the SAFE program, and I'll talk more about each one of these as we go on, for youth aging out of foster care. And I have to say, I'm super excited that I'm one of those people that get to work with Ashley a little bit, and that we're looking at how we can transition kids that are 18 and over to our SAFE project in our program in the future. So we started out as this little group, and now we are we have full-time staff, we have program managers, social workers, part-time staff, consultants, and we happen to be instrumental with 5 different colleges, and we take master social work interns on a regular basis from those 5 colleges in the area. And it's just very exciting to see how we're actually developing social workers and sometimes hiring them subsequently. So our programs are adoption, therapeutic foster care, the SAFE program. I'm sorry, we used to call it the SAFE project. Family trainings and support, our Heart Gallery, Friday's Child, and Faith in Children. So the adoption program, I've mentioned it started in 2017. Our adoption agency has now placed 22 children from in and out of New York State. And so far we've finalized 15 of those youth since 2019. Adoption is a lengthy process, and it is, it's not costly like everyone thinks, but it is a lengthy process. You have to go through the entire foster care certification process, and then there's a process of searching and matching the child and the family, and then the custodial county must select the family that we've presented, and then visitation starts, and it takes about a year for finalization to happen. So when it looks like, wow, you've only had 15 kids adopted and finalized, that's a big number for the last 3 years. Our placements vary in age from 5 to 17 years old, and sadly, 70% of those kids have been of color and have been placed either in Caucasian or interracial families. One of the things our adoption program works hard to do is place kids with families that not just look like them, but that can really help them to support, I guess, their culture. Many of our youth come from outside of New York State. We can work across the entire nation for adoption. We can't serve families outside of New York, but we can bring children to those families. I think I jumped around, sorry about that. Okay. working off a small screen, bear with me. Okay, often people think there's a barrier to adoption. It's going to be expensive. For us, it is not. It is a maximum of $3,000 for families who can't afford it, but there's a sliding fee scale, and there are also options for, I don't want to call them payment plans, but it's kind of like that. We offer families the way that they can best afford to go through the process. Sometimes families don't select children who have significant trauma or higher level of care needs, and those youth may also not want to be adopted. Some families fear long-term commitment, so that can be a barrier to finalization, and then kids end up aging out of the system. So who may adopt? Anyone over 18 years of age, any gender, same-sex couple, single, married, divorced, widowed, may have children, may not, may be a partner of a parent, a grandparent, or an other relative. So we look to work with the foster care system to finalize adoptions for those kids before they age out of care or can't return home. Statistics of foster care youth in New York State, where we're licensed, there's upwards of 3,000 youth in foster care. Some will end up freed, and often the primary goal for these kids are to return to parents, and we will work diligently with the birth family, the foster family, the youth, and the county that refers the youth. We are currently contracting with upwards of 20 counties in New York State. Some quick statistics that we've discovered over the past few years are that 56% of those youth in care are not Caucasians, and you can see the breakdown based on the AFCAR's report of 2019. In the past, Caucasian youth have historically been adopted sooner than youth of color, and this is something that CAP is working on diligently to ensure that all kids have the same opportunity for fostering and adoption. The median age of youth in care is reported to be 6 to 8 years, but we have a large percent of children who are teenagers in care and in placement. Right now, we only have a few placed children from different counties in the Finger Lakes. And we only have about 6 open homes, but we have a pretty significant number on the in-process roster. Who can foster? Anyone over 18 years old. As a director of this agency, I really prefer you to be over 21 and have a little bit of maturity. You have to pass background checks and clearances, and any family member who is cleared and appropriate for the child may foster. Anyone with a passion for youth who can provide a stable environment. Anyone who has sufficient room and space, a bedroom, and can support the youth in their home, and preferably can support the youth or themselves independent from any payments that might come from the system. So this is how you could become a foster parent for us. I'm guessing you might not be as interested in that part, but if you know of anyone, we're always looking for pre-adoptive families, for mentoring families, and for foster families. So we'll move on to the SAFE program, social supports for advancing future endeavors. And I did not name this, it's a mouthful. But this is a program that is really my heart and passion. And it's really a program that is supposed to support those older youth who are going to age out of foster care without a resource or a support. They haven't returned to their family. Maybe they're not, they don't want to stay in foster care, or their foster family isn't willing to adopt, and they're going to age out of the system at 18 or beyond, and not have a resource of support. I have such a passion for this program, and I wanted, or for this population, that I wanted to develop a program where we could help this group. So statistics are 20% of these kids who will age out of the system will end up homeless and unemployed in the first 18 months. I have been advised that up to 60% of our inmates nationally are made up of former foster youth. And so our program seeks to work with those older youth or young adults to coordinate services, help them with any emergency services such as housing or food, help them with employment and education connections, provide life skills. And we're going to be starting life skill programs with Enon Missionary Baptist Church. We were hoping to get started this month. It looks like we'll be moving that date out till April. But we're open to having anyone who may need that life skills program to join. And you can reach out to either us at Children Waiting Parents or even the church. We'll provide transportation, goal setting, independent living skills, whatever might be needed so that we can see this population really more independent and successful and have a brighter future than when they left foster care. Our organization also hosts the Wendy's Wonderful Kids program. It is a signature program from the Dave Thomas Foundation. And this program is released in 24 states, several locations in New York, especially right in Rochester. There are a few different organizations that also host this program. But this program targets a caseload of youth who are living in facilities or foster care who have absolutely no resources, and try to connect them with someone who might be a visiting resource, an adoptive resource, anyone that might just be able to help that child transition. Most of these youth will not leave facilities. They'll just transition to adult facilities. So this program works all over the state. We have kids in many, many counties, and our recruiters travel pretty far. So this is a program where is specific to the youth on the caseload, where our other programs are also specific to the families we serve, more, especially in adoption, and referrals can be made to this program for youth that may need extra support finding a resource. We have, and this is a historical program. We have the Heart Gallery. It is sort of a traveling display. We frequently take it to places like airports and the Strong Museum of Play, anywhere where children might be able to be made visible. And that's been one of the goals and successes of Children Waiting Parents along the way, that we were able to make children more visible for those adoptive purposes, and try to make the community understand that these kids are available. And years ago, there was no opportunity for them to be made visible. So it's been a signature program of ours. It does happen nationally, and some other organizations nationally, in particular at Washington, D.C., do a fantastic job virtually and in person of displaying children, making them more visible. And often we will see matches. Families become more interested because the children are made more visible, and we have matches and adoptions occur. Let's see. And then Friday's Child is something that you may have all seen. Don Elhard often will feature a child from New York State to also help them be visible and let families know that they are available for adoption. So moving on, we're still pretty much a donation-based, not-for-profit organization. We're very small, and we're just beginning to find support through grants, contracts, and other funding opportunities. Our website will provide all kinds of information, including photos of children who are freed for adoption. So that's kind of my quick overview, and I'm so sorry. I feel like I just raced through that, but I wanted you to have a little bit of knowledge about who we were. I think for anyone who's been in the community for a long period of time, we were just this little advocacy organization, and a lot of a lot of the community did not know who we were. So we're growing and we're really trying to work collaboratively with so many community organizations for fostering and adoption, and now the older youth. I will throw this in. We are hosting a 50th anniversary gala in November, which is the National Month of Adoption. And it's in the process right now. I think we're going to be at the Hyatt. It will be on November 5th. We know that much. And we would love to see everyone in the community attend. So I think that's the majority of my overview, Leah.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lauri. Thank you for everything that you're doing in the community. Oh my gosh, there's so much more to your organization that I even was aware of. So I'm so glad that you presented today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, let's see. How do we exit your share mode? I think you just hit stop. There we go. I think I got it. Okay.
We got it.
Yep, got it. All right, awesome. And I know that you have to run, so before Q&As, and I wanted to just get this one question real quick before you hop off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Helen had a question in the chat. She said, what are some of the reasons there are not more families of color seeking to adopt BIPOC children?
I want to tell you that I am really glad you asked that question. Helen, thank you so much. It's one thing that I'm not sure always if I should jump on that, so I'm glad you asked the question. What we're finding, and I've been doing some work with churches and organizations, and what we're finding is that families of color don't often become foster or adoptive parents. I think what I'm learning from those who are working on this with me is that family has always taken care of its own, and typically somebody will step in before the system does, which is really great. But I will tell you in transparency, we really need families of color to step into this world. And working with, I'm never sure if I should call him pastor or what, but John McReynolds, we're actually trying to address that. Like, how do we encourage families of color to step into fostering and adoption so that when our kids of color, who seem to be the majority of kids in care, have an opportunity to live in families, even if it's temporary, that they have similarities to. So that's one of our goals. And we're working diligently towards that.
Thank you for that. I just would say personally, a lot of the information you just shared, I definitely was not aware of. So I think it might just be an issue of some really targeted, dedicated outreach, because I was surprised by some of those stats, and it makes me like, when I'm trying to figure out how could I take in a foster child, so.
Well, I will tell you that I would love to talk with you further about that. And I think part of what we need is the awareness. When people become aware of the need, then I think it is helpful, and that may be where they step into encourage, we can encourage them and they step into fostering. It's not an easy job, but we're a really supportive organization. So please do spread the word. And if you're interested, please call.
Okay.
Yeah, and Lauri, before you jump off, if you could put all your contact info in the chat as well, just so that people have it. And I do want to get to Jill Krenzer here in just one second, but it looks like Marianne had a question wondering if anyone working with foster care would be interested in the Worth More Nation program. It's for anyone affected by foster care. It's a pageant-based program. Everyone who participates receives a crown, a sash, they keep their dress, and it's all for free. Is there any way to give them an opportunity to have a special time and know that they are worth so much more than they know? And she says she can send that information to me, and then I can send it out to all of you. So Lauri, I don't know if you can share your slides as well, along with Ashley at the Hope Center and the Hub 585, I can get the slides from everyone's presentation out to the group. And then also Marianne, if you want to share that information about that program, I can send that out as well.
Yeah, I definitely will do that. And we actually work with Sandy Arena a little bit on that, any opportunity we can give those kids. We have had some of our foster youth participate in Sandy's. Yeah, it is. It is great. I actually got to speak there a couple of years ago. So
I was, oh, that's right. I remember you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, Sandy is a very, very dear friend of mine, and I volunteer all the time with her for the pageant. There's actually a fashion show this Saturday.
Yes.
Fundraiser to help raise funds for the pageant for the kids.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well, thank you again. I really appreciate your time. And
yes, thank you,
I'm
Lauri.
heading out.
All right, take care. Enjoy that Florida weather.
Oh, I will. It's almost over.
I know. Well, we miss you. We'll still be glad to have you back, even though you won't be glad to be out of
I know, right?
out of the sun. All right.
See
All
you.
right. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Lauri. All right, everybody. Next up, we have Jill Krenzer. Jill, thank you so much for being here. Jill works with Host Orphans Worldwide. She has adopted a wonderful young man named Kyle, and I'm looking forward to hearing about her story. I know that it's been a very trying time, specifically because the young people that she works with are specifically in Ukraine, and so I'm sorry for everything that you've gone through up to this point, and I know it's been a very trying time for you. Thank you for being here with us today in the wake of everything. It's just amazing to me how strong you are that you're even able to be here with us today, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time. So go ahead, Jill, and take it away and just share with us more about what you do. Share with us a little bit about your story and how others could possibly be involved in Host Orphans Worldwide.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. So this is not my typical platform, so I don't have fancy slides and things. So I don't feel worthy of following up the two previous presentations. I usually do more of a Q&A kind of thing, but.
Well, you are absolutely worthy, and it can be a conversation. So you take it away however it feels comfortable to you. And if anybody has any questions, I'll be monitoring the chat. So if you just throw them in the chat, I'll let Jill know.
Awesome, thank you. So my name is Jill Krenzer. I am from Brockport, New York, and I am a team member on an organization called Host Orphans Worldwide. We are a not-for-profit, Christ-based organization run by volunteers, and we host orphans through 2 programs a year. One is a 10-week program in the summer, and one is a 4-week program in the winter. And as Leah stated, we work with children from the orphanage system in Ukraine. We are trying to expand that into other countries and have been working on that for a couple of years. But as of now, we are only working with Ukraine. So our organization works with 12 different orphanages in Ukraine. And you may wonder why Ukraine. I've actually had many people question that. Ukraine is the largest orphanage system in Europe. They have over 100,000 orphans in their system, and it's been a generational issue for decades for various reasons. So our organization comes alongside those orphanages and helps to host these kids twice a year to do a couple things. We take the burden off of the Ukrainian government to take care of these kids for those 14 weeks, split between the 10 weeks and the 4 weeks. It also gives hope to these orphans who otherwise may not see outside the orphanage walls. So what the program does is it brings the children here. They understand that it is temporary. They understand that they have to go back after the specified period of time. And it's essentially like an international fostering program for a definitive time period. So we bring the kids here, we show them the love of a family. We show them, different things that life has to offer here in America. And a lot of those kids, like 80% of the kids that are hosted, end up being pursued for adoption either by the family that hosted them or by another family that they meet while in America. So it's a fairly successful program in turnover and adoption. And So my story, a little background, we are a blended family. When my husband and I got married, we wanted to expand our family. We found out, try to make a long story short, that we were having infertility issues. We had taken foster care classes. We decided that foster care was not for our family. And so we thought our journey was over. And then I found a Facebook friend was welcoming a child at the airport in June of 2019. And so I reached out to her and I asked her what was going on and if she was adopting. And she said, no, she was just hosting. And she explained to me what the program was. I had never heard of hosting. There are actually quite a few orphan hosting programs and some that do with different countries such as Colombia and others. So I looked into it. I looked into all the different programs, and honestly, the website of the one she used was the most informative and I felt the most comfortable with. So that's why I went with it. And it happened to be Ukraine. So we decided to host, and we hosted our son mid-January to mid-February of 2020. We sent him back after the 4 weeks and started the adoption paperwork right away. And we brought him home in March. We brought him home March 31st of 2021. Adoption day was March 23rd. So we're going on a year with him home. He is 11 and a half, and he is just a jovial kid. He is, he's something. he's a lot of fun. But this, we got home a couple days before the hosting list was being finalized for summer hosting, and we just weren't sure how things were going to go with our settle-in period. So we weren't sure about hosting last summer, but we really wanted to host his best friend from the same orphanage. Because we weren't sure, a friend of a friend decided to host him. His name is Vanya, and he's 9. And so they lived in a neighboring town, and we in Greece, and we kind of shared him for the summer. They were gracious enough to share him with us. And we ended up hosting him. They only had him just to host. They did not want to adopt. Even going in, there was no intention of that. And so we hosted him this past winter for the 4-week program. And we had to send him back mid-January. And we fought to get his little brother to come with him this summer, who's 7 and special needs. And they were going to come, the summer hosting program would run from mid-June till August. So originally when I was talking to Leah, I was coming to talk about our program and trying to get more people to understand about orphan hosting and expand the word and get people to sign up for orphan hosting. But now with the war broken out, everything is halted. So now there will be no summer hosting. There is, adoptions are on hold from Ukraine. The 12 orphanages we work with, 4 of them have been evacuated to bordering countries to safety. 8 of them are still stuck in country in very dangerous areas, and it's too dangerous to move. So now what we're doing as an organization is we're raising money to help on the ground. So we have a team over there. Some of the team came back, some stayed, a new team flew out. So there's always an overlap of people there. And we plan to keep a presence over there in a bordering country where these kids are coming into for the coming months until we're not needed anymore. And what we're doing is, as these orphanages are brought over the border and evacuated to safety, we're helping in any way we can. So we are currently helping the 4 orphanages and a few others that we didn't have prior relationships with, but they're all in need. So the other day we purchased underwear for all of the kids, 80 kids of one orphanage. We purchased scooters and balls and things like that for the kids of all different orphanages. 110 orphans from one particular orphanage are being held at a facility, and that facility does have bikes and things for them, but the bikes were in disrepair. We didn't have a way to get new bikes out there. So what the team did was they went and bought parts for the bikes that were there and fixed the bikes for them. And then we're just helping subsidize food, medications, different things like that. We are also helping the orphanages inside the country, still inside Ukraine, with food and water and medication and necessities. Those we had actually started doing that even prior to the war breaking out. After the kids got sent back in January, food supplies were already being rationed by the government. So the kids were calling their parents, their host parents back here, that they were hungry and things like that because there just wasn't enough food. And so we already had put together a program where we were taking donations and subsidizing their food, sending money to subsidize their food portions to make sure that the kids were fed. And so we're continuing to do that with the orphanages that we work with. And as needs arise that we hear about with others as well, we just help in any way we can. So that's basically what we do and what we've been doing. Like I said, our program, we plan to expand. We did have a team actually in another country interviewing with an embassy and orphanage just last week. So hopefully that expansion will be happening soon. So the program will carry on in other countries, but with our current situation with Ukraine, that's what we've been doing.
Well, thank you, Jill. I'm sorry for everything that you've been through. I know this has been a very challenging time with the war going on, and I clearly know from everything that you've been doing that this is so close to your heart, and we're just so sorry that you're dealing with what you're dealing with, but we definitely want to be supportive in any way that we can. So if you could just put some information in the chat of how people can support, and maybe just let people know how they can support not just your family, but also the cause over at Ukraine, and see how we can support as a group. We're definitely, we're here to support you. You're not alone, and we appreciate you coming today and sharing about the program. So
thank you.
Just hang in there and know that you aren't alone. You have a community behind you. We're a village. And I did want to have you on today because I think that, it is important to focus on children here locally. And it's also important to know, what we're doing for children abroad as well. So I appreciate you taking the time today. And I appreciate your heart for all of these children in Ukraine. And we look forward to seeing God do what God does and win the war, not just there, but around the world, of children who are vulnerable and need families to care for them. So I appreciate all that you do.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we're just going to enter into Q&As real quick. If anybody has any questions, we have Dr. Ashley Cross still on the call, and then Jill is still here available to answer any questions that you guys may have. Before we jump into announcements, I want to give this space for anybody to ask questions or even comments or conversations surrounding adoption, foster care. If you have anything to share, feel free to raise your hand or put a note in the chat. I know a couple of people had to hop off. I also did want to talk about, I'll give some space here for people to raise your hand or put a note in the chat if you have any questions. But I also did want to talk about this week about trying to figure out how we can get together a group for doing an in-person networking meeting. The community collaborative used to be in person, and we miss it being in person. I know Mondays are challenging for people to get to a location in person because we're all coming from our various workplaces. And so, if you guys, if you're interested in doing another in-person meeting, I had a suggestion in a meeting that I had last week with somebody who's a member of the collaborative, that maybe we do something on a Saturday and do it like at a school or a community center where it's centrally located, where everybody can get to. So I'm open to hearing what you guys would think about that. So if you could, just send me an email with what your thoughts are, just kind of trying to gauge from the group, is everybody interested in doing something in person? I know I certainly am. I'd love to see you guys face to face and be able to shake your hands and look you in the eyes other than just on a Zoom camera. Let's figure out a way that we can do this in person soon, and let me know what days work best for in person for you. I did try to put together a survey and I was having technical issues, so I'll use this just one more second to say I could really use some help with the community collaborative for administrative support, for a newsletter possibly, and help with the database and getting a survey out to everybody. That would be super helpful if somebody is available to help with that. The question in the chat from Carrie, I'm sorry, Carrie, I didn't mean to forget about your question, for Dr. Cross was, can you please go over the care portal again?
Yeah, absolutely. The care portal is it's a platform. It's technology. So CPS workers, it's about 40 CPS workers that have access to it. I am able to allow more CPS workers to have access to the care portal as I grow in the amount of churches and community responders that we have to actually meet those needs. So the way it works, CPS worker goes out. These are people who are part of the home finding, the management team, which manages the current foster families, as well as investigations. So if a CPS worker goes out during an investigation and they see, hey, this child really needs a bed, they need some assistance with, safety measurements within the house, whatever that looks like, they can put those needs directly into the care portal. The care portal then shoots it out to all of our church point people, in which the churches then activate their church. And then that means that request goes out to all of their community responders. Once the community responder gets the email that has the need, they have a button that says, I can meet that need. And then it puts the individual from the community in direct contact with the CPS worker, who then puts that person in direct contact with the family. So the people who are saying that they will meet those needs, they go out, they purchase the goods. We do not do any gently used. So everything we ask for it to be brand new, diapers, bedding, whatever that looks like. And then they deliver it to the family so they can make that connection.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yeah, and if you're a part of the community collaborative, you can join our care portal team through Restoration Rochester. If you are interested in being a part of the care portal, we send out requests through the care portal that come through as we go. We see quite a few care portal requests per week. So if you're interested in receiving those requests, please just send me an email and I'll get you on the care portal list so that you'll be able to receive the care portal requests as well. It looks like Healthy Moms, Marianne has an announcement. Does anybody else have any questions for Dr. Cross or for Jill Krenzer before we jump into open floor and announcements?
Reach out to Maria. So I have a question. I was looking at the chat. So
Yeah.
when you plan on bringing these boys home, are they going to be adopted?
So right now, the adoption process is totally on hold for Ukraine. So right now, what we're trying to do is get these kids here for a long-term hosting until things calm down there and adoption is opened back up, and then proceed forward with adoptions. Well, if that's open back up. I mean, there's a lot of fear as to what's going to happen. We don't have open adoptions with Russia. So if Russia were to win and take over, that plan may be done. If the kids were here already, we don't know what that would mean of whether we would be able to then adopt them through our system and not have to send them back. We really don't know. But the short term, we have to look at what the short term goal is at this point and look at what we can legally do. And so legally, we're just trying to get them some sort of emergency visa, tourist visa kind of thing that we would get them over with for typical hosting and get them here for the short term, or however long that might be during this conflict until things calm down. And then if Ukraine wants them back, we would have to send them back and then proceed forward with adoptions from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jill. Yeah, it's such a tough situation. I'm definitely going to be praying for the kids and for all the families. Thank you, Jill, for everything that you're doing to support that entire community. All right, does anybody else have any other questions or comments? All right. It looks like we're good to go for announcements. So now it's just an open floor for you to be able to come on and announce anything that's going on with your organization, with your community. Just feel free to hop on. I know Marianne, you had something.
And unfortunately, I shouldn't be up till 3:30, so we won't even be able to get mine done.
Oh, hold on one second, Marianne. Go ahead.
So, hi, everybody again.
Oh, I'm having a hard time hearing you. There's kind of an echo.
Is that
Are you
any better?
there?
Yes.
Okay, try now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So last year in August, we decided we were going to try our first ever family resource fair here at the St. Mary's campus on Genesee Street. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that, but Healthy Moms is located at that campus for the Rochester Regional Campus on Genesee Street. And this year we are going to, we've already planned for August 12th to be our second annual Family Resource Fair. And I wanted to see if anybody might be interested in hosting or manning a table at that. I can send out details as they come up to give you information on that. I can keep Leah in touch with all of that. So what we did last year is we tried to collect donations of backpacks, school supplies, and we had a whole, actually several tables set up with all of that for the community to come and just take what they need. We also have our children's clothing closet here at St. Mary's, and we brought all of that down to the parking lot. We brought all of our items that have been like, just, we collect so much stuff through the year, and we have so much that we want to just bring it down there and have people take what they need. And last year we had the mounted patrol here. We had a fire truck. We had the traveling library, I think it is, or the rolling library. So we also had organizations here such as Do the Right Thing. Of course, Healthy Moms hosted a table. We had the curbside market. We had the Healthy Baby Network was here. There's so many people here, I can't even think of them all. But the mobile mammography, this year we're hoping to actually get the unit here, the coach here to do mammograms for anybody who needs them. So this is all happening on August 12th. And I'm just reaching out to let people know what's happening, and want to send out an invite for organizations to come on down. I'm thinking this year we're going to do from 10 to 2, so it's 4 hours. And you'll be responsible for your tables and anything that you need to set up. If you need tents or whatever, it's just a free event. There's no charge to have a table here. And last year we blocked off a huge section of the parking lot, the staff parking lot, and it was an awesome event. We did not get a lot of people because of COVID, but we did have steady traffic coming through. So it was really nice. This year, I planned that in 2 weeks last year. This year, I'm taking 5 months to plan this. So I'm hoping to get a lot more people interested and just come on down so that our community knows the different resources that are out there for them.
Yeah, I think that's so important. You have a bunch of people in the chat that are willing to be a part. We've got Fidelis Care, 211, Charles Settlement, Restoration Rochester, of course, would love to be a part of it. If you send me all the details as you're ironing everything out, I'll make sure to get it out to the group if anybody else wants to be involved. I know this is time out of your day on a Monday, and it's a little bit of time to take to spend with each other. But I definitely appreciate everyone taking the time to come out today and to be able to hear from the people who were able to share today. And I'm thankful for everybody who's a part of this group. I think that we can do amazing things together in our community that we can't do individually or siloed. And so I'm looking forward to working together as we continue and being involved in community development here in Rochester. So I know a lot of people have to start hopping off the call because it's been over an hour. I would love to try to get this meeting down to an hour, but it's very challenging to get all the information in. So if you can only do a meeting that's an hour, please let me know. If that's something that the group would rather have as the meeting as an hour, we might just have one less presenter per month just to keep it in an hour. We want to honor your time and we appreciate you being a part. It looks like Jay has her hand up. She may have an announcement. Go ahead, Jay.
I do, and I promise I'll make it really quick. I'll send you out. We just finished the flyer yesterday, but Community Health Workers Association of Rochester, which is another board that I'm a part of, we are actually doing an event, and it's for us. It's for the folks that are on this call. It's for the people that are helping people in the community. So we are focused on, it is National Nutrition Month, which is something that we are celebrating with Fidelis Care. So Fidelis Care will be at this event on the 29th of March. So if you, your staff, anyone that you know that is a social worker, a case manager, a doula, a outreach worker, this is for them to stop by between the hours of 4 and 6. And again, I'll send out the flyer to Leah so she can show it out to everyone. We're going to be offering to you guys, to everyone in the community, there's going to be 8 COVID tests, whether you want to give them to yourself and keep them for your family, or you want to give them out to clients, that's fine. We're going to have healthy snacks so that we can focus on self-care and snacking healthy, because us folks that are very healthy out in the community, helping folks, sometimes I can attest we don't always choose the best snacks. So we're going to offer some healthy snacks and other resources from our other community partners. So if there's anybody also on this call that is interested in sharing flyers or sharing any giveaways for our other community agencies to come and pick up, please let me know. I will be willing to pick up anything that you may want to give away and any information that you would like to include. It's more so like a networking bag that everyone will be able to come and pick up for each other. And again, we're celebrating ourselves that we're the ones that are trying to make sure our community is connected, and sometimes we forget about ourselves. So this is for that. And lastly, on the 23rd, I'm doing a humongous a spring egg hunt at the downtown library. We're going to have thousands of eggs that we're hiding. There's huge prizes. And then the kids, once they turn in their Easter eggs or spring eggs, they would be able to go onto the Food Link truck and select for free fruits and veggies for every bag that they hand in of eggs. So we're trying to stay away from candy. So it'll be healthy snacks that they would get at the end of their egg hunt. So I can also, as soon as that flyer is done, the public library is actually doing that flyer for me. As soon as that's out, I can share that as well.
Awesome. Yes, share all the flyers with me. If you guys have flyers or anything that you want to send out to the group, share them with me. This is also another reason why it would be super helpful if we had a newsletter for the collaborative to be able to share these announcements out in a newsletter form. I definitely need help with that because I don't have the time or capacity to create a newsletter. So if you know of anybody, not just you, I know most of the people that are on this call are executive directors or people who are in charge of many programs at your organization. If you know of anybody that would be good at this, that would be able to help and willing to volunteer, please let me know. I would definitely appreciate it. And Erin, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just real quick. Did you know about the, so we got one for community health workers. There's a program that you just fill out a paperwork for. I'll find out. I can send it over to you. And they assign you with an intern for a year for free. They pay them. So I can, it's for nonprofit. So we just got one. It's been amazing.
No, I didn't know about that.
I think it's through U of R, don't quote me, but our student is through U of R. They have to be within like social work or something, within that program. And so they
Okay.
offer free help. So just FYI.
Awesome. Yeah, shoot that over to me, Jay. Thank you so much. And that might be helpful to anybody else. So if you shoot it over to me, I'll share it out to the group so everybody else can be aware of that program as well. Go ahead, Erin. Thanks for putting your hand up.
I just put in the chat some links to information for regional alcohol and substance use treatment and recovery resources. So check those out, as well as upcoming virtual workshops on a variety of topics, including Native American cultural competency, which is helpful for all kinds of fields. I've taken that myself. I highly recommend it, as well as workshops on working with persons with co-occurring disorders, and criminal justice clients who are experiencing addiction. I also just wanted to let everybody know I have a surplus of winter hats, adult size. They're pretty warm. They're knit hats. They have our Finger Lakes Addiction Resource Center on them. If you work with folks who could use these, I'd rather that they not stay in boxes for a extended cold winter. I'd rather people use them. So if you can take advantage of those, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. I know that our office is here at Open Door Mission, and I know that they're always in need of hats and gloves. So if you don't get enough people to take them while you're, on the call here, if you don't get enough people to take the hats and gloves, I know Open Door Mission would be happy to have them to serve the clients that they serve. I'm just looking through the chat. I don't want to miss anybody. Marianne shared her information in the chat. So this chat will go out with the recording to you guys as well. Oops. Let me just place her on mute there. This chat will go out with the recording to anybody who received the invite for the meeting today. If you're not on our invite list and you got here because somebody invited you, please place your information in the chat. We'll get you on the invite list. Thank you so much again for taking the time today. It's been a pleasure to meet with all of you. I look forward to seeing you guys in April. I'll be sending out information throughout the month, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys then. If you have any other questions, just let me know. It's just such a pleasure to see this group continue to grow, and I look forward to working with you guys in the future. So thank you for taking the time today. Take care, guys.